Ben Johnson goes on the radio, and of course, he's asked about the recent report of Caleb Williams wanting to avoid going to the Chicago Bears. And I think his comments speak very loudly on it. We'll talk a little bit about that, plus dive into the mailbag and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Darrell Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And so yesterday was an interesting day. Of course, ESPN came out with that article based off Carl Williams and his book that came out, in which he talked about Caleb Williams and him, talking to lawyers, things like that, and see if there's any way that they could avoid going to the Chicago Bears because of the doubt around the Bears and their history of quarterbacks, right? But at the end of that, it stated that Caleb Williams, after sitting down, talking to Ryan Poles, he took it more as hey, I want to be the one to turn this thing around. I want to be here that lives up to that challenge. And, of course, pessimistic Bears fans that already have beef with Caleb Williams have used that to solidify this shit, because they aren't smart enough to talk about actual football. So, of course, they need storylines like most men who don't, or most people who watch sports, they don't know actually have the depth of sports knowledge. So they use it as soap operas and storylines like that, especially at this point of the offseason, is great big things for them. But people who've been Bears fans, and I love the fact that people who've been Bears fans, and honestly, some of the more intelligent Bears fans heard that, took it and said, you know what? I understand some of the concern that he had about coming here. If we're being fair and looking, if we weren't Bears fans ourselves and looked at the Bears' history of quarterbacks, we wouldn't question any quarterback that had that had doubts about coming to the Chicago Bears. In fairness, you can say that you don't because you want to have the, oh no, I wouldn't. He's a coward, all that type of shit. But y'all bitching on the internet. So with that said, but Ben Johnson, who was already scheduled to go on the radio yesterday on the Colin Cowherd show, he talked about it. He said this: "You talk about fears. I don't see it quite the same way. I see this as what a great opportunity that we have to do something that's never been done. There's never been a 4,000-yard passer in this franchise. And I think Caleb's going to be the first one. One of the many years where he's going to accomplish that feat. I see a chance for greatness for him here. He's been communicative that way. He feels the same way. I don't know what's gone on before I joined the organization, but he's very proud to be a Chicago Bear." That's what our conversations have included. He's really excited to get to work now and be the best version of himself for 2025. There's no question we'll face adversity. We want to see growth over the course of the season. It's not going to be linear growth. It's going to be a little bit of ups and downs along the way, but we want to see from game 1 to 17 that we're getting better as a whole. That's not just him. That's us as a team as well. I'm excited. And that's what I love. Like, again, Ben Johnson continues to show the leadership that a franchise like the Chicago Bears need. And, while it sounds great and all to be like, oh my God, Caleb doesn't want to be here. Fuck Caleb. He's a pansy. All that type of shit. It just goes to the same people that had doubts about him coming into the draft. And listen, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like I said before, I don't give a shit about none of that. I care about what you're putting on the football field. And Caleb has tons of growth that he needs to do on top of the football, on the football field. It just, that's what he needs to do. So I think overall, when it comes down to it, nothing changes for Caleb. But for the Bears fans that have some questions and some doubt on, all right, well, what does this look like, and what does this mean when it's time to negotiate a new contract with the Bears? What does it look like when it's time for Caleb Williams to have maybe become a free agent at some point in time if he had that level of doubt? And to me, the thing that I say is that's when winning cures all. Now, yeah, of course, there's going to be some allure sometimes and other things, but like, if Caleb here, if we have the best situation, if he's winning here, then you've done the best that you can. And that's all that you can worry about. You can't control a player and what they may not be communicating or not. But what you can control is you putting that player and putting out the best team, the best coaching staff, and having the best situation for a player to win in, right? And that's what the Bears are trying to do with Ben Johnson. That's what they're trying to do with the system. All that, I think, when it comes down to it. And, of course, I can't fault Bears fans that look at it and they're like, oh, my God, but what if What about in 2 years when Caleb's up for a new contract? What if he just doesn't take it because he just wants to go into free agency and go to a different team because he's Hollywood and all this type of shit? And all I can say to that is we only can control what we can control, right? And, we'll see what ends up happening there. I think it's a lot to do about nothing. And I've said it before, even before this happening. This is the lull. This is the period of time where you're going to see stories, right? This is the period of time where news is down. You're going to see a lot of storylines in the case of what it comes down to with that. But here's the thing. I like I said, if you're going to take the article, I say take all of the article, right? And at the end of that article, if you're going to take you can't just take the negative out of something and only use it to reaffirm only the good, the negative you already felt, right? And that's what people do. It's called an echo chamber. But I think when you take the full article in totality, you see that it reads as a player that had serious doubts, that explored what they could do in their control to qualm some of those doubts, and then took it as a challenge. And listen, to what it's worth, let's be clear. Some of those concerns were proven right away. You sacked 68 times in your rookie year because your GM at that time wanted to play it safe with their acquisitions on the offensive line. They didn't do that this year. And let's hope that pays off to the Bears in a much better situation to where that Caleb isn't on his back 68 times this season, right? That's not what you want out of that. So, the Bears already have it. They got a tough schedule. They got some tough road stretches in there, multiple tough road stretches, and it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, to hear that, it was concerning. And the headlines made it even worse. And when I first read that headline, I was pissed the fuck off. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. I was pissed the fuck off. And I went into that ready and prepared to read it and to be pissed. But then in reading it and trying to fairly evaluate everything and take a step back from just being a Bears fan and look at it, there are some things that, do they try to do the utmost about it? Yeah, absolutely. Make no mistake about it. But as somebody who has a son that's playing football in college myself, guess what? If my son gets to the point of making it and being blessed enough to having an opportunity to control his future in the NFL, I'm going to tell him to explore every avenue he can to get to the Chicago Bears, but that's selfishly. So that's what it comes down to. So overall, it is what it is, man. But I think when you also hear about some of the things, let's keep in mind, let's just look at everything that Caleb had to deal with his rookie year. He wasn't watching tape with Shane Waldron. The quarterback coach and Thomas Brown talked about he wasn't allowed to talk to Caleb too much, right? So you have a rookie quarterback that's left to watch tape on his own because his offensive coordinator nor his QB coach was watching tape with him. You then had that offensive coordinator get fired and the QB coach take over and Thomas Brown taking over as the offensive coordinator, and then him say himself, hey, this is my first time really getting to sit down and talk to him. That happened more than halfway into the season. So let's just be let's just be clear here. Some of the concerns that Caleb Williams had, he ended up being true and valid. Even hearing the concerns that he had over Shane Waldron. Look at the way that shit went, right? You come to a team that you already had some doubts about the offensive coordinator. They're not watching tape with you. You're left in a room to figure out and watch tape on your own, which cool, great, right? It is what it is there. That offensive coordinator is so bad at his job using the talents that he has on this team that he's fired midway through the season. Your head coach is fired through the season. You had offensive coordinator your passing game coordinator, Thomas Brown, that took over to be your offensive coordinator. He then becomes your head coach after 2 weeks after being the offensive coordinator. Again, the up and down nature of this Bears franchise was also proven last year. Now let's gain some stability. Right, let's gain some stability. Let's start building some things out here with the Chicago Bears, and we'll see what the future holds and what happens with Caleb Williams long term. We'll see what happens there. Overall, was there some concerns? For sure, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into the mailbag. It is Friday. It is Mailbag Day here at Chicago Bears Central. This one's from Fred.
Hey, what up, man? It's your boy Fred. I know I ain't have a chance to call in to talk with you about the draft and everything. I ain't gonna lie, Hayes. I'll be 100 with you. When the Bears made they draft picks and everything, bro, I was kind of scratching my head. Yeah, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get the players that we wanted, but I guess we got the players that we needed for the system. You know what I'm saying? So, like I told you before, I'm looking for action from these guys at this point. I don't want to hear about, paper champs and all that. Yeah, you look good on paper, but in the day, like Bobby always say, we got to put it on wax. Now, I like that dude, Kyle Monangai. You know, cause like, I don't see how like he was overlooked and he was slept on. Give him an opportunity with the line we got, and I think Buddy can do some damage. I had watched his highlights and everything. I'm like, he don't look like he running a 4.6 to me. Cause like I tell people, running the 40 in football speed is totally different. And he looked kind of fast. Looks like he got some explosiveness to him as well. So hopefully that the team, you know what I'm saying, got it together. I see that, what's that guy, the tackle we drafted? Ozzy. I see he got good footwork and everything, man. And I know it's rookie mini camp, but I'm going to wait for camp to see what he looks like once he get the pads on. So I see he got good footwork so far. That's a good thing for a left tackle. And there's a possibility he might end up getting that left tackle spot. Who knows? No, we only can see what's going to happen. And also, Hayes, man, I'm looking forward to seeing Austin Booker go make that next leap because he got the mechanics, everything. He needs to put the size on it. And I'm pretty sure with Dennis Allen going to, you know what I'm saying, get him right for sure because in Dennis Allen defense, it is aggressive. And like you said, Hayes, we need to get back to being a monster of the midway, especially on defense, where we knock your motherfuckers dick in the dirt. Excuse my language though, but when the Bears was a respected defense in the league, with teams like, I didn't want to play against the Bears defense because them boys was hitting hard. And I can't wait to see our defense get back to that point. Hey, I can't wait to see our offense be a top 5, top 10 offense one. You know what I'm saying? So even if our offense rank 11, I'm still okay because that means we made, you know what I'm saying, big progress, and there's still more progress to be made though. So hopefully, man, these guys they be drafted, that, you know, some of these guys make the team and some don't make the team. That, hey, you know, they're on the practice squad and, you know, they developing as well though. So I just can't wait till the season start and see what we gonna do, man. But let me know what you think, big dog. Kyle go up, bear down enough.
Kyle Monangai overlooked, absolutely. And I love that you pointed out that sometimes football speed is different than take the pads off running in a combine style thing. Like sometimes when you put those pads on, some of those guys that ran 4.3 40s aren't as quick as some of the guys that ran a 4.5 40, right? Like that's what it comes down to. It's a very different thing when the pads are in-game speed because it's not just about just straight line speed. It's about knowing when to pause, where to accelerate as much as how you can accelerate. Those type of things are so different. And Kyle Monangai, that's what he does, right? And his ability to run between the tackles. He understands when to accelerate, when to hit that gas, right? And I think also his physical nature that he plays with is really good. I think the Bears draft class is going to be fine. Like you said, you know, we didn't get some of the names that we wanted, but it seems like we got the players that we needed. We'll see how these guys grow and develop over time for sure, right? Before you make a surefire bet on any of them. But I like a lot of the talent that we got here for the Chicago Bears, a lot of it. And I think there was the talent that we needed, and I think they've done a really great job. Now, let's see what they actually turn into on the football field, which is the ultimate end-all, be-all is what you are on the football field. But as far as the talent, the raw talent that they got in here to develop, to cultivate, things like that, I think they got guys that fit the identity that we're trying to build here. I think they got guys that fit schematically. I think all those things play a part into it, and we'll continue to see it play out. All right, let's get into this next one, man. This one's from Xavier.
What's going on, guys? This is Xavier calling in, man. I just had a quick little message. I heard Hayes the other day saying that the Bears might be interested in bringing back DeMarcus Walker. I'm cool with that, man. I like DeMarcus, man. Like, bro, he was solid for us, and I feel like he was one of the leaders on that defense for sure. In my opinion, it was just the way that, like, post-game interviews, how he would talk, and just seeing him on the sideline, I feel like the guys really resonated with him. There's not many defensive edges that's available. You still got him, you got Von Miller, but I don't want Von. He's going to command too much money. Now, if we was able to get him for cheap, then veteran minimum or something, I'd consider it for sure. It wouldn't it wouldn't hurt having a veteran like him, a proven veteran that's the Super Bowl champion in that locker room. That wouldn't hurt, but it would have to be at an amazing price for sure. And Zadarius Smith is still out there for defensive end because I feel like but I don't want any more cheeseheads or anybody affiliated with the Packers on this roster, bro. Like, I'm cool, bro. Jonathan Owens, that's all we need, bro. We don't need too many of them fucking polluting our system over here. But, yeah, bro. I wouldn't really mess with the offensive line too much, or even the running back room. I would just try and get another edge rusher, but it got to be at the right price, man, because that's the main thing for us right now, because we are limited on the cap space that's left. So, man, let me know how y'all feel about that, man. Chicago or Bear Down?
Bringing back DeMarcus Walker, like I mean, yeah, I said it on the thing. Like, yeah, if you're gonna need, I know some Bears fans like, oh, like Broki Bear. Like, shout out to Broki Bear, no shot there, but he's like, oh, we don't have enough on the edge. I think we're gonna be better on the edge than people give us credit for. I think it's about how the system fits together. I think we got a lot of disruption out there on this defensive line. Now, it could pay off that we see it and we're like, we need some more. And, that's fine. But I don't think you pay Ayo Dosunmu, who's going to be making $20 million in the second year of his contract, unless you feel some confidence on what he can bring to the football field. I think GerVon Dexter has shown tremendous growth. I think you're bringing in Grady Jarrett, right? I think those players are going to help take off some of that pressure off Montez Sweat with us then. And then also let's look at it from the play calling aspect. We were a very bare bones play calling. We didn't get creative. Dennis Allen's going to get us creative. So I think those things are going to be fine, and we'll see how those things shake out. But, yeah, I'm not mad at if you do bring back DeMarcus Walker. Wouldn't be mad at that at all. I think that he's the type of guy that adds some depth, can play inside or outside, adds some much-needed versatility to this team. I wouldn't be mad at DeMarcus Walker at all. So we just got to see. I think this Bears coaching staff wants to really see what we have in training camp when the pads are on, everybody's out there, and then they're going to make some evaluations on what they still need to add to this team. So, all right, let's get into this next one, man. This one's from Keys.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Keys on this lovely Wednesday morning. Hope all is well with you guys. But let's get to it, man. The news has been coming out with the whole Trey Hendrickson, and as a Bears fan, everybody has jumped on it. They have been excited. They feel like we don't have enough. And Yazzie do. Now, what I will say is this. I think we made a vast improvement in our trenches on both sides of the ball. The biggest question is, for me, do we want to continue to just watch that development? Or do we want to go all in and just go get him? Now, remember, if you go get Trey Hendrickson, you got to pay him. Just like they got to do with Tony. You know what I'm saying? And that might be something where, like, okay, if we go get Hendrickson, we got to pay him. Are we going to pay Tony for that? Or we just go down and outplay that 1 year? You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, in my opinion, if they want, I'll go get him for a second. I ain't gonna lie. You're a little older, but I think a third might actually work. A third or like a fifth. And we just get back like a sixth or something like that. You know what I'm saying? We've done business with Cincinnati before, and obviously they don't know how to pay their players. Shit, they don't even know how to pay their fucking rookies. But it would be nice to have them, but it ain't like the end-all, be-all if we don't get them. Now, if the season rolls into and say our ends aren't working and everything like that, and Trey Hendrickson is available during that trade deadline portion, hell yeah, go get him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a twofold thing. We're going to see what happens, bro. Of course, I would love him on the Bears. When you got Caleb on his rookie contract, and you got to go out there and just expand on what all you can do while you got the time to do it. But we're going to see, man. I wouldn't be mad at it, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if we didn't pursue it just because of the money and everything like that, too. But let me know what you guys think. Shot-town up, bear down.
I doubt that Trey Hendrickson ends up a Bear. I doubt that he ends up a Bear. I just don't think the Bears, and like you said, I don't think you're going to get him for a second or third. You may get him for a second and a third or multiple seconds right over years, but I don't think you're going to get Trey Hendrickson. I get it that he is a little bit older, but when you have 17 and a half sacks in each of the last 2 years, regardless of your age, that level of production, that's going to be production that's going to garner a lot out on the market. I think there's just no way around that personally. I don't think so. So it's going to be a lot to get Trey Hendrickson in here. And like I said, I think that's a move that the Bears would make after again, I'm always wary of making big, huge moves. Not making moves, but when you make huge moves like that to take draft capital and a ton of cap space to become a playoff team. I think once you realize you're a playoff team and you become that playoff team, that's when you start taking the bigger swings, right? That's when you may be willing to give off some of your draft assets to get something that's more proven now because you're that window's open. So I think that's the thing that the Bears, if the Bears are a playoff team, if they win 10 or more games this season, are a playoff team, look solid in the playoffs, and even I don't think all those things have to happen. I'm just naming some things that have to happen, but I think if those things happen, that's when you're going to see Ryan Poles come off some of that draft capital, be willing to do some of those other type of advanced things to kind of get some of that talent in here. That's where I think you'll see that. And so, again, Trey Hendrickson, monster, beast, dog, a problem, right? But for opposing teams. But I don't think that that's a move that the Bears make right now. Personally, I think they're gonna see what they have, and if they need something on this defensive line, more of a supplemental move this year, with maybe then a comparable swing that they made in the offensive line that they make next offseason, if that makes sense. But all right, let's get into the next one, man. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas, man. Real quick, just want to chime in on GerVon Dexter, man, because I just feel like just a little bit more pressure needs to be applied to him. And as Bears fans, we always do this, bro. We always put a lot of pressure on the offensive players, and then we just let the defensive players do whatever. We're very defensive biased fan base, and let me explain what I mean by that. GerVon was drafted in the second round, man. Now, I know he was a little raw, so we needed time. We going into year 3 with GerVon, it's time for him to show that he's a dog, bro. Like, you were a second round pick. So I still expect you to ball out even when Billings goes down. I still expect you to ball out regardless of what's going on with Montez. And Montez is supposed to be able to depend on you to take some of that pressure off of him. And he started off red hot and then disappeared. We can't have that, man. I don't want no fucking inconsistent players. And, if that boy from A&M shows that he's going to be a little bit more of a dog, start him and only put GerVon in during run situations. Because, see, we didn't get as many sacks last year as we should have because we never earned the right to fucking rush the passer. Because teams are just sitting there running on us. They know in the fourth quarter, or hell, pretty much throughout the whole game, our defense has been getting beat by running from explosive plays and quick slants over the middle, man. That's all you got to do to beat the Bears. Run that ball and hit them with a quick slant over the middle, and they can't do shit. So it starts with the run. I mean, in my opinion, I'm more concerned about, are you stopping that fucking run, GerVon? Why is it that when Billings went down, your big ass couldn't take nobody to the ground after that? I just, I got to. This is year 3. And if we're going to sit up and talk about the pressure that's on Caleb and all that shit, we always want to talk about the pressure on the offensive players, but not on the defensive guys. I feel like we're a little lenient when it comes down to being critical of our defensive players. And I don't think that GerVon has showed me enough as of yet for me to feel like we are justified in taking him in the second round. I just don't. You had one good year where you started off and had 5 sacks and then you disappeared. So step the fuck up, GerVon, or sit your ass down and let Shamar come on in and do his thing. Texas up, bear down.
All right, Darius, I love you, bro, but this is where your Texas weirdness comes in at, and some of the stuff where sometimes, like, I get it, I love hearing from you, call in as much as possible, but sometimes it seems like you're looking for something to say. Because to say to bench GerVon Dexter for Shamar Turner and to say that nobody's put pressure on GerVon Dexter without looking at a few things. Hey, let's just look at it. He was fourth in all defensive tackles in hits. 4th. To say that he had a disappointing season, yeah, for the run game aspect, for sure in that one. He was 20th in total pressures. 20th in total pressures. In the entirety of the NFL, there are over 60 starting defensive tackles in the NFL. He was 20th in total pressures. Hurries, 41st in hurries, 41st in forced fumble, 27th in assisted tackles, 15th in solo tackles. He played the 36th most snaps of any defensive tackle in the league. Yeah, yes, the production went down after Andrew Billings went down, but you know why that is? Yes, GerVon Dexter can be better in the run game, but you also know why? It's because our play calling on the defensive side of the ball was terrible. We don't blitz at all. And I'm not saying you need to be a heavy blitz team, but you know what that does? That helps take pressure off your offense, off your defensive line, because you have pressure coming out on the outside. You know what we're going to do more under Dennis Allen? We're going to blitz more, which is going to help take off some of that pressure on already an improved defensive line. Darius, I usually rock with you. I've defended you when other people have said things about some of your voicemails, but this one, to say to bench him for Shamar Turner, now, I get it. I'm not saying don't say like he needs to step up. And run defense, he definitely needs to step up. But he was his first year as a full-time starter where he was basically only used in his rookie year on clear passing downs. Come on, Darius. Come on, bro. Like you're having a third or fourth year conversation after year two, his first year of being a full-time starter. Come on, bro. Like let's be real here, man. Like I get it. I know people in Texas are weird and strange, but come on, Darius. Come on. Now, and for those that are listening, me and Darius, we're cool. We're cool. That's one of the guys that in here, like he's gonna give me some shit on the voicemail back, but yeah, Darius is tripping on this one. But that's my time for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. No, wrong number, 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.